Did you hear about the man who's considering calling off his whole wedding because his fiancée refuses to sign a prenup after he found out that she has massive credit card debt? So, this middle-aged man is meant to be marrying his fiancée in a few months. They've been together for 3 years and engaged for 1. And for most of that time, he genuinely believed they were on the same page about their life values and, most importantly, honesty. Now, for background, he's worked really hard to build a stable financial foundation. Now, although he's not wealthy, he does own his home outright and he has no personal debt. And he's been saving and investing since his early 20s. This has been a priority for him, especially since his parents went through a nasty divorce that ruined both of them financially. Now, about a month ago, while they were discussing wedding costs, he brought up a prenup. Not in a cold or controlling way, he just wanted to protect the life that he worked so hard to build. He was upfront with her that he would still be fair and she wouldn't be left out with nothing, and he was expecting to have an adult conversation. But instead, she got immediately defensive. She said things like, "Oh, so you're already planning for a divorce? And I thought we trusted each other." He tried to explain to her that it wasn't about trust. It was about transparency and mutual protection. But she shut it down completely. That's when the red flags started popping up. She became evasive every time money came up. And he started to notice weird things like credit card offers in the mail, a few mispayments on shared expenses that she said she would cover, and lots of, "Oh, I'll handle it later." So he asked her directly if she has debt. She admitted to it. $92,000 in credit card debt. Not student loans, not a mortgage, credit cards. She said it's accumulated over the years from unexpected expenses and a few dumb splurges, but she never told him about any of it until he forced the issue. He was stunned. They were about to merge their lives. This woman was about to legally become his spouse, and she didn't think that he deserved to know that she was 6 figures in debt. He told her that this made the prenup a non-negotiable for him. He needed to protect himself, not just emotionally, but financially. He told her that he was still willing to move forward, but not with something in writing that would protect his premarital assets. She lost it, called him selfish, said that he was turning love into a business deal. She said that his house and money should be hers too, if they're truly a team. Since then, she's refused to talk to him about a prenup, and they're barely even speaking. Even her mother called him and accused him of humiliating her daughter and for being materialistic. All he wants is to not be liable for debt he didn't create and to make sure that the life he created before this is protected. So now he's really reconsidering this whole wedding, not because she has debt, but because she hid it and then refused to take responsibility and is now treating him like the bad guy just for trying to protect himself. He's almost certain that she can pay off her debts since she is a partner in her friend's business, but she just refuses to. So now he's wondering, is he the AH for thinking about walking away?
China's recent overhaul of its marriage and divorce laws has sent shockwaves through the social fabric. And to be frank, it's about time someone took a hard look at how the system screws over men. The new rules, especially around property division, are a middle finger to the old ways where women could game the system, walking away with half a guy's hard-earned assets just because her name got slapped on a deed. Meanwhile, Chinese women are crying foul all over social media, claiming their uteruses are the golden ticket to reproduction and should entitle them to a cut. The courts, in a rare moment of clarity, shut that down, saying sperm's just as essential. This is China, of all places, stepping up to the plate while the US is still stuck in a gynocentric haze, letting women dominate divorce courts and real estate markets. The big shift in China's laws is about who owns what when the marriage goes kaput. Before, if a man bought a house and put his wife's name on the deed after tying the knot, she'd get half in a divorce, no questions asked. That setup was a goldmine for women looking to cash out on a guy's work without lifting a finger. The new law says, no, whoever paid for it owns it. Doesn't matter if her name's on the deed. If she didn't chip in, she's not walking away with your house. This move forces accountability and kills the loophole that lets some women treat marriage like a lottery ticket. Chinese women are losing their minds saying that it's unfair. They're pulling the "my body, my labor" card, saying their role in popping out kids should give them a claim to the assets. The courts clapped back, pointing out that men's sperm is half the equation. Biological checkmate. Chinese guys are cheering, saying it's about time the law caught up with modern reality, where men are tired of being ATM machines for women who bring nothing but baggage to the table. Over in the States, a lot of men are looking at China like it's the promised land, while the US divorce system feels like a rigged game. Women here own damn near 80% of residential real estate by value, and that number climbs higher when you count married couples, where the guy's still one bad day away from getting cleaned out. The US answer to this mess is the prenup, a contract you sign before marriage to lock down who gets what. On paper, it's a solid plan. You buy a house, you lock it down as yours, and no one's taking it. But in practice, prenups are shaky at best. often overturned by courts faster than you can say, bad call. Prenups are supposed to be a Chad's armor against the gynocentric divorce machine, but they're about as useful as a paper towel in a tsunami when you're up against a biased judge in simp court. These flimsy contracts get shredded faster than a beta's ego at a nightclub. First, if you don't spill every cent of your cash and debts up front, it's over. One secret bank account, and the prenup's dead, leaving you screwed. Then, if your ex pulls the "I was pressured" card, whining she was bullied into signing because you gave her a deadline or some Chad-level ultimatum, the court eats up her duress sob story and burns your agreement. If the prenup looks unfair, like it leaves her broke while you're stacking millions, some white knight judge will call it unconscionable and toss it, because apparently women deserve your wealth just for existing. Don't even think about sharing a lawyer. If she didn't have her own, she'll claim she was clueless, and the court will lap it up like a thirsty simp. Worst of all, if life happens, kids, her, sacrificing her barista job, or just too many years married, the judge will say the prenup's outdated and rewrite it to hand her your bag. Prenups are a rigged game, just another lie to keep you slaving for a system that's got women on a pedestal and men in the dirt. Look, I've got a buddy who got completely screwed over by the gynocentric divorce system, and his story is a brutal wake-up call for any guy thinking marriage is a safe bet. I'm not going to blast his real name out there. Let's call him Jake to keep his privacy intact. Nobody needs their personal wreckage splashed across the internet, especially not a guy who's already been through the ringer. Back in 2014, Jake was a 38-year-old software engineer in Seattle, a legit high-value dude pulling six figures and owning a $1.2 million condo with a Puget Sound view that'd make any normie jealous. He meets this chick, Lisa, a barista with big dreams but a resume thinner than a 4chan thread. Jake's no simp. He's deep in the red pill game and insists on a prenup before they tie the knot in 2015. The contract locks down his condo, stock portfolio, and 401k as his, no exceptions. Lisa signs after a quick sit-down with a lawyer Jake's friend recommended, and he thinks he's bulletproof, like a Chad with a fortress. Fast forward to 2024, and the board's flipped. Jake's condo is now worth $2.5 million, his portfolio stacked at $3 million, and Lisa, she's contributed nothing but complaints, ditching her barista gig to find herself and raise their two kids while Jake's out slaving away. When they file for divorce, Lisa goes full succubus, hiring a cutthroat lawyer to gut Jake. She whines that Jake rushed her into signing the prenup days before the wedding, crying emotional coercion, like she's pitching a sob story for upvotes. She also claims the lawyer wasn't legit, since Jake's buddy picked him. The real knife in the back? Lisa says the prenup's unfair because she sacrificed her barista career to play housewife while Jake built his empire, and leaving her with nothing is unconscionable in the eyes of the feminist court. The judge, some spineless simp who probably bows to his wife's cat, swallows Lisa's crocodile tears whole. He trashes the prenup, citing duress and unfair terms, and orders Jake to hand over half the condo's value, $1.25 million, plus half his portfolio's gains, and a juicy alimony check because Lisa gave up her coffee-slinging glory days. Jake's now stuck in a one-bedroom rental, venting about how the system's a rigged slot machine that always pays out to women, while Lisa's living it up in a new place, bankrolled by Jake's blood and sweat. He's not wrong. This is the US reality. Prenups are useless, and the courts are always ready to roll over for the next damsel with a victim card. I'm keeping Jake's real name out of this because the man's been through enough without his business being aired out for the world to gawk at. China's new divorce laws are like a Molotov cocktail thrown at the feminist stranglehold on family courts, and it's about damn time someone lit a fire under this rigged game. These laws slice through the BS that's been bleeding guys dry in the West, where women marry up, do nothing, and cash out like they hit the jackpot. China's dropping the hammer. You didn't pay for it. You don't get it. No more free rides for women just because they showed up and batted their eyelashes. It's raw, it's brutal, and it's a middle finger to the system that's been fleecing men forever. But let's consider the perspective of a traditional stay-at-home mom. These laws might save a guy's bank account, but they're also stomping on women who are already at rock bottom. Rural Chinese women aren't chilling in Shanghai cafes, swiping through Tinder for chads. They're trapped in backwater villages where men hold all the power, and the culture treats them like livestock. Sons get the family gold, daughters are told to marry or starve. Divorce is social suicide. And now, with no shot at assets, these women are chained to husbands who know they can get away with anything. Marital rape? Not a crime. Domestic violence? Cops don't give a damn. That chained wife horror show, where a woman was literally shackled in a shed, only got attention because social media blew it up. China's courts aren't exactly lining up to save women from hell. Now look at the US, where women are living the ultimate Stacy fantasy. No draft registration, family courts handing them the keys to the kingdom, and they're sitting on most of the real estate wealth, probably 80% or more by value. Yet they still cry oppression while guys are slaving away 60 hours a week to pay alimony to some ex who's banging a new Chad on their dime. The truth is, the West's so far up women's asses that men are just ATMs with feelings, second-class losers in their own marriages. China's at least trying to tip the scales back, even if it's messy as hell. Zoom out and you see the bigger picture. In China, South Korea, and Japan, city Stacies with degrees and jobs are telling marriage to go fuck itself. Why? They've got money, options, and no interest in playing maid to some traditionalist simp who thinks he's king. But rural women? They're stuck, marrying to avoid starving, and these new laws make their lives even shittier, locking them in with no escape. It's a split world. Urban women ghosting marriage, rural women enslaved by it, and guys caught in the middle, either screwed by a system that worships women or demonized for wanting a fair deal. The US is on the same path. High-value women are bailing on marriage because they don't need a beta's paycheck. But the courts are still stuck in 1950, handing out cash and houses like it's a game show for ex-wives. Prenups were supposed to be a shield, but, as my buddy's story shows, I'm keeping his name out of this to spare him the humiliation. They're as useless as a paper condom when a judge sniffs unfairness. These Chinese laws are a wake-up call. They're a middle finger to a system that's been robbing guys blind for decades. Western men, staring down the divorce industry's barrel, can only dream of laws this cutthroat. But don't get too excited. China's changes screw over poor women who are already crushed by a sexist hellhole, and that's not something to cheer about. This isn't about hating women. It's about seeing the world's rigged game for what it is and refusing to play. The US could take a page from China's book, but good luck with that. The courts are too busy chugging feminist Kool-Aid to notice men are getting annihilated. Prenups are a joke, tossed out on a whim, and until everyone's held accountable, men for their grind, women for theirs, guys like my friend will keep getting burned, rural Chinese women will keep suffering, and the marriage scam will stay a one-way ticket to Loserville. Stay woke, brothers. Keep your eyes open and your wallets locked. That's all for today. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Also, click on the notification bell to know when I drop a new video. Bye.